Okay, hello everyone. Today we are going to use Illustrator and I'm going to demonstrate how to use the drawing normal mode, the draw behind mode, and eventually the draw inside mode. So you are going to open two documents for this assignment. You're going to go to File, New, and this would be my third document. That's why it says Untitled 3. You can name them whatever you want, but you are going to end up opening two documents that both have one artboard on it. I want separate documents because they are separate tools to learn. So I'm just going to close my third one. I don't need that. On the first document, you are going to have 10 shapes. I used the shape tool and I used the pen tool to create some freeform shapes. So just as a review, your shape tool is right here. If you click and hold, you can see all of your different shape tools. If I use my star tool and I click and hold with the star, and then I hold down Control and press up or down arrows on my keyboard, I will change the amount of points that are on my star. If I wanted to resize my star, I would select the selection tool, which is the black arrow, to bring up my transform box. I can click and hold on the outer edge of the box, and I could also click and hold to move my star. The pen tool is right here. If I click and hold, I'm going to use the regular pen tool. By clicking, I will create anchors to draw whatever shape I want. If I click and hold, that is when you convert the point to a curved edge. So by clicking on the very end, when my pen tool converts to the circle next to it, I will close off that shape. So now I have a closed shape here. To show you how to fill shapes with color, if you use your selection tool and have your shape selected, double click on the fill box with the color picker and you can select whatever color you want. So again, click on the shape, click on your color, and then select whatever color you want. Clicking OK will fill in that shape. So what we are going to do is experiment with these different drawing modes. So if I come down here, if you've noticed where it says draw normal and then Shift D to switch modes, if I hold down Shift and I press D on my keyboard, I will switch between the modes. So right now I am on the normal drawing mode. If I take my paintbrush, and right now I have this rough brush that I'm using, if I click and hold and I start painting, I will just paint all over this document. So I'm going to hit Control Z to edit undo that. Now if I hold down Shift and press D, I will switch to draw behind mode. So if I paint now, all of my lines will actually show up behind whatever shapes I have on my document. So if I let go of that, all my lines show up behind it. Okay. Same thing if I use my pencil tool and I start drawing with it, all of these lines will show up behind my shapes. Now, right now you see all of the points since the pencil tool gives you all the anchor points. If I press Control Shift A, I will deselect it, and then you can see all of those lines are now behind my shapes. So that was draw behind. Draw inside requires you to actually select a shape. So if I select the star and now I shift over to draw inside, if I take my paintbrush, right now it's active on side of the star, so if I paint with it, it's going to paint right inside of it. So if I let go, no matter what lines I paint all over the outside of the star, the only thing that will show up is what's inside it. So these dotted lines show me which shape I have active for draw inside. If I try to paint over this red shape and have my line show up inside, nothing's really working because it's not inside my active area. So what I have to do is click on my selection tool and double click to make that star inactive. Now if I click on this red shape and then I go back to draw inside and I go over my paintbrush again, I will draw inside that shape. Okay? So you have to make sure you are on the right active shape. So the same thing works for shapes too. Say I wanted to put a shape inside that red freeform shape there. If I click on my polygon tool and I click and hold here, if I let go, now right now my fill is nothing, so if I double click here and I change it to yellow, you'll see the only part of this shape that showed up inside was the yellow part that is overlapping the red shape. If I wanted to move it over, I can select my move tool, and if I put it there, again, the only yellow part that shows up is what is inside. The same thing works for draw behind. If I go to draw behind mode and say I want to put a circle behind this star, if I click on this star to make it active, and then I go to my ellipse tool, if I come to the center of my star and I hold down Alt, and then I click and hold, I will make a centered circle. So now if I let go of this, it's going to give me the yellow circle behind my shape. So draw behind and draw inside are very useful drawing modes for you to remember. Another thing that you can do with these modes is on your second document, you're going to have 5 shapes that you can either draw with the pen tool or use your shape tool to make them. And then you're going to have to find some images from the internet. So these are ones that I used for some of our Photoshop projects, and I just placed these right in here. So if you go to File, Place, this works just like it did in Photoshop. If I place my Bills logo here and I click on my selection tool, I can resize it. So if you place it, it does the same thing as it did in Photoshop, where it will be available to you. I'm going to delete this because I have enough images to use here. Click on it and just press my delete key. So with the draw inside mode, I can take any picture that I have, like say I want to take this Master Chief picture and I want to have it just inside this star shape. Well, if I click inside that star shape to make it active and I click on draw inside, I can click on this Master Chief, hit Control C to copy it, and then hit Control V, and it will paste it right inside the shape. But the only part of the image you will see is what is inside whatever shape you have drawn. So if I click off of it and double click to make it inactive, say I wanted to use this shape here, and I'm going to Control C my Captain America. Oops, I forgot to make draw inside active. So if I, again, click on the shape, click on draw inside, then go click on whatever image you're trying to copy, hit Control C to copy, and then Control V, and it will paste it right inside that shape. So just one more time, click off and then double click to make the draw inside inactive, so you can click your next shape. If I click on the circle, click on draw inside, click on whatever image you are going to copy, Control C, and then Control V will paste it right inside that shape. Another way you can do it is if I click on the shape and then go to draw inside, if I go to File, Place, it will actually place it right inside that shape. So say I use my Bills logo again, it will place it right inside there, and then you can move it around. So if you didn't have the image already available to you, you can place it directly in there. So another way draw inside is very useful to you. What you will do for this part of the assignment is you will draw 5 shapes, select them, and then place or copy and paste images into those shapes. There is an assignment on Google Classroom for drawing modes. You will submit this assignment and this assignment into that one assignment on Google Classroom. So again, this one was 10 shapes on an artboard in one document, and 5 shapes you will be drawing behind, 5 shapes you will be drawing inside. The second part is 5 shapes on a separate document with one artboard, and you will copy and paste or edit and place or file and place pictures into those shapes using the draw inside option. Submit them to Google Classroom, and then you will be done with this assignment.